Welcome back to some Danganronpa. I think we're good to go. We set all of our skills. I think we set all of our skills. Might have been reset. Yeah, they were reset between episodes.
Okay, so we only have 3 that we can set.
Yeah. But see, this is what I was talking about last time. It doesn't show the description.
And then down and then back up?
Now it does.
Interesting. Cool. So, something you said last time was, you kind of
Let's
wished the game
begin
was
with a basic
randomized.
explanation of the class trial. So, if you can figure
There
out
is
who
a
an
game
owl
that has sort of a
punishment-
similar
Hey, then,
hidden
let's talk
trader system that actually is randomized. That basically does require you to do multiple playthroughs. And the first playthrough, the first
Chihiro's
murder is
fatal
always
injury.
set.
It appears it was a head wound.
According to the Monokuma file, the killer used a blunt instrument. But what kind of blunt instrument could it have been?
I bet it was an iron pipe.
That took a while to
No,
load up the
that's
right
wrong.
bullet.
Can we agree that the object that dealt the fatal blow was the dumbbell, found at the scene of the crime? It was covered in blood, and there was nothing else at the scene that could have caused that kind of injury.
Why does it
And the
really
wound on
sound
the
like he was
victim's
just
head
reading
is
from a
consistent
script?
with the shape of the dumbbell. As far as I'm concerned, there's no mistake and no room for doubt on this one.
You looked at her head wound?
Yay! That's so creepy!
No, it's kind of expected when you're doing
If
forensics.
you don't mind, I will proceed from here. Let's move on to discussion of the culprit. Although, I believe the criminal behind this heinous act is already quite clear.
What? For real?
Chihiro's killer is the fiendish serial killer, Genocide Jack.
Alright. Lines of white noise will appear. Make your argument. Okay.
The culprit is Genocide Jack. I'm sure of it. Case closed, as far as I'm concerned.
But that's impossible.
Why? What makes it impossible?
Well, I mean, come on. There's just no proof for it.
No, that's wrong. I might know one reason he could be involved.
What?
I found this file while I was looking around the archive in the library. I guess it's some kind of confidential file the police put together about the Genocide Jack case.
What? That's kind of weird as shit, isn't it? What was something like that doing in the library?
The why of it is probably more trouble than it's worth, so let's forget about that for now. More importantly, it outlines all the specifics of every Genocide Jack case in exceeding detail. According to the file, there appear to be 2 defining characteristics in every Genocide Jack case. The first is that a bloody message is found written at the scene of every murder.
Oh, that's right. Boob lust.
No. It's actually bloodlust.
But more important is the other characteristic, and it's something that has never been made public.
Never made public? What the hell is it?
Why don't you tell them, Makoto?
I got it!
Beep.
Apparently, in every Genocide Jack case, the killer suspends the body in a certain way. Other than the killer,
I have
the
to
only
wonder
people who know about this are the
what,
higher-ups
like-
in the police.
However, Chihiro was most...
I have to wonder, like, what
So,
the age
how did the
demographic
culprit
of
know
this
about
game
this when
is.
only high-level police officials were... There's only
pretty
one
sure this game is
logical
rated M.
answer I can think of.
Because, like, the courtroom, basically all of the
It's
courtroom
because the
stuff is
culprit in
really
this case
easy.
Is the
And
real
it's-
Genocide Jack.
No fucking way!
You're saying Genocide Jack is one of us?
Yes, in fact, it's Toko.
What?
Genocide Jack's true identity is Toko Fukawa.
You lie! What? Hey, okay, wait, hold on a sec. Toko has, like, bloodophobia or whatever, remember? What kind of serial killer is afraid of blood?
Is Toko Genocide Jack? The answer is yes and no.
Another riddle? Man, why is this gotta be so complicated?
It's like, oh, now it's time for us to do a thing again. So Jack is Toko, but isn't Toko? What does it mean? It's an answer.
Wasn't it already spelled out for us before?
Pardon?
I think it was already spelled out for us before.
Yeah, dissociative identity disorder.
What word are we shooting here?
I don't know. It was like split personality or something or other. Okay, now, me making fun of how easy this is, and then it immediately goes like, hey, how about make some other word? It's like... No, not an I, not an S. Okay, so it's definitely not an I. I wanted to go for the S. There we go. Schizo. Right? There we go. Yeah, I did try to go for the S
Now
first.
I understand.
Just
Yeah, but you didn't damage the S enough at first.
Yeah, it's been a while. I
Is it
didn't know that
because
we had to.
Genocide Jack has a split personality?
Also, isn't...
I
Hold on. Isn't schizo supposed to be short for, like, schizophrenia, which is hearing voices? Which is different from dissociative identity disorder?
Yeah, but they are commonly associated together. But yeah, it's
Strictly speaking, a different thing.
they are strictly
I
different.
thought
Yes,
that the
they're often
suspect might have,
classified in the same
what did they
category.
call it? Dissociative identity disorder.
Although, I guess trying to make the person shoot out the dissociative identity disorder would be too long, and making them shoot out DID would be too short.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
They could have still just made it shoot out disorder.
Perfectly acceptable. Toko's strange behavior after seeing the body is proof enough that she has a split personality.
Her behavior changed.
I got it! You're talking about how she started acting totally different than usual, right?
You know they want to be
That's
Phoenix
right.
Wright. I got it!
She fainted when she saw Chihiro's corpse, and then, when she
I
woke up,
honestly want to see a Phoenix Wright Danganronpa crossover.
Could be fun. Still should. Yeah, like
She
all
was
of
acting
this
funny, that's for
Genocide
sure.
Jack stuff
That melancholy tone of
is
hers
just
completely
strictly filler.
disappeared.
Yep.
Don't go assigning adjectives to my tone without permission.
not to mention, once she regained consciousness and saw Chihiro's body again, she was utterly calm. In other words, within her is one personality that can't handle blood, and one that obviously can.
So when Toko trapped herself in her room, it's because she was scared of Genocide Jack?
The reason she locked herself in her room wasn't to keep other people from getting in. It was to keep her other personality from getting out.
What?
Toko was afraid. Afraid of the murderous fiend inside of her. Of killing even more people.
How?
Yeah. How can you know all this?
I do believe you misunderstood her.
No.
What she's trying to say isn't, how can you know all this? No. What she wants to know is, how could you tell them?
Huh?
Last night, just before Monokuma gave his motive speech, Toko and I had a strange conversation. She told me a most interesting story. She said a murderous fiend lived within her, and she was afraid it could appear and attack at any time. And that trepidation is what's caused her to have such a bleak attitude. Isn't that right, Toko?
This is all a lie. Right?
You know, I just have to make a little comment about the voice actor they chose for Yakuya there.
Very robotic.
Promised. I can't believe you lied.
Not
You
nearly
have only yourself to blame.
dickish
You
enough,
came
honestly,
to
is my
me with
thought.
your tragic little story.
Like him
I
being
didn't
kind
ask
of
you
more
to.
cold and a little
This
robotic.
is the
a little
real
bit, but
world,
he
not
clearly
some
supposed to have more
romantic fantasy
intensity
fairy tale.
and more disdain in his personality.
Besides,
That's fair.
you broke your
But it's just
promise
like,
first.
he's just very
You said that as long as you were
underplayed
here,
in the
no matter
English
what.
voiceover.
Oh yeah, that's right. If you
But in
pause
spite
during a
of that
line,
promise,
the voicing stops.
You said if I kept my promise, you would go out with me. That's the only reason I promised.
how many times do I have to tell you? I never said that. But you weren't able to do it. You just couldn't resist that rush you got from killing, could you?
Yeah, like that line right there. It's like, I never said that. It's like, gee, you could try to have some sort of emotion about this crazy chick who keeps saying that you'll do stuff with her. She is nice. Like, this crazy girl constantly putting words in your mouth and saying that you'll do things that you never said that you'd do. You could at least try to pretend that you care. That she's telling everyone lies about you. But no, just, I never said that.
Well, honestly, like, I kind of have a different opinion on that. I think that so far is the only line that he said proper to character. Because he genuinely doesn't care about what the other people think of him.
Yeah, I'm not
He
saying to do
genuinely-
it like, I never said that, like trying to convince the others. But just,
No, like,
he needs to be like more authoritarian on this. Like, I never said that. Sort of a thing. Trying to, drill the message home to her. It's like, I never said that. Not so monotone.
I tried. I swear I tried to control it, but
But your efforts were useless. What a disappointment.
I hate
okay,
you.
what a
Well,
disappointment just there. That was done perfect.
Yeah, that one worked. That one worked. Also, in auto speech stuff like this, where they're supposed to have a character interrupting another, pretty much nothing ever gets it right. Someone's like, "Oh, I tried to do that, but," and then there's a pause, and then the next line comes in, as opposed to the person actually interrupting them.
person.
Girl.
You don't mean...
The music is creepy. You take out all the voice stuff. Thud. Dun, 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 dun.
Well, hello there. Is it me you were hoping to see? Yes. What the heck? So you figured it out, huh? Well, whatever. What are you gonna do?
What's up?
That tongue. Where does she have room for that in her mouth?
That's why she can't talk very well. She's trying to talk around the tongue.
You know, that would actually make sense.
Yeah, when she's in her normal when she's in Toko form, it'd be rude for her to just to, stick out her tongue and stuff. So she has to, like, talk slowly and mumble over her words, trying to talk around the giant tongue. But as Genocide Jack, she doesn't have to care about that. Stick that tongue out, makes it easier to talk.
Exactly.
I'm the ultimate murderous fiend, Genocide Jack! Or better yet, let's go with Genocide Jill!
Told ya!
What the fuck
They
is
changed
this?
it.
No.
Toko, what happened to you?
I told you, they changed it for English. For the English dub.
Yeah.
They changed it. I told you so.
How
Not
dare they?
Toko, that's a loser name, and what happened is a textbook split personality. So what if one of them happens to be a serial killer? Turn a blind eye to one's faults.
Someone as insane as Genocide Jack should not think of being a serial killer as a fault.
Tense.
Like they say, sound in murderous mind, sound in murderous body.
This one is so different from the one we've come to know.
You are one to talk, Sakura.
Yes, well, the world is composed of a front and a back, you know. Just like how every inning has a top and a bottom, or how in the depths of every truth lives a little lie. Behind every dark and gloomy soul lives another that shines as bright as the sun!
Genocide Jack. One of my
Miss
favorite
Jack,
characters in this
Jill,
game.
can I ask you a question?
Sorry, what was that?
Genocide Jack. Just one of my favorite characters in this game. And don't you dare say, yes, one of the top 17. Don't you effing dare.
Well, I guess if we add her in the list, it would be the top 18, right?
Claire?
What's up?
Danger.
Some of us think you might be the mastermind behind our entire situation. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'll tell you, I am the mastermind of all masterminds! Just kidding!
Then it's not true?
Of course it's not true! How dare you try to link me to that creepazoid? And another thing, the police and government and society in the outside world are totally powerless! I mean, they just let this idiotic, bloodthirsty maniac go buck wild all over town!
Sure, I'm a bloodthirsty maniac, but life is pain, right? To live is to hurt other people. It's a necessary evil if you want to survive. The act of living itself causes pain for everyone. Just kidding again!
This should be enough to convince you. This murderous fiend is responsible for Chihiro's death. There's clearly a motive, so there should be no doubt.
Wait,
A motive?
Remember what Monokuma told us? If someone didn't murder and graduate within 24 hours, an embarrassing memory or secret would be revealed. Well, let's assume that Toko's secret was about Genocide Jack. If a secret like that came to light, Toko's life would have undoubtedly been forever ruined. So she had a very clear motive to never have that side of herself exposed.
But it did get exposed.
Interesting. Very, very, very interesting. But sorry, as much as I hate to admit it, I'm not the culprit.
Huh?
But I cannot imagine anyone other than you could murder someone in such a bizarre fashion.
Maybe so, but nevertheless, it's the truth.
Do you really expect any of us to believe you?
I believe you.
Yeah. I could never believe a word you say, you monster!
The status of the dead body.
Or the disappearing stain.
Sorry, but I didn't kill anyone.
You say that, but do you really expect any of us to believe
Yeah, you're
it?
right, sir.
Perhaps if you had an alibi, that would change things.
Oh, an alibi, huh? Now we're talking.
When you compare your past murders to this incident, the modus operandi matches completely. What more proof do we need? Give it up. You killed her.
It's the modus operandi.
Yeah.
Sorry, but I didn't kill anyone.
You say that, but do you really expect any of us to believe it?
Perhaps if you had an alibi, that would change things.
Oh, an alibi, huh? Now we're talking.
When you compare your past murders to this incident, the modus operandi matches completely.
No, that's wrong.
No, it's wrong.
There were two things that were different.
Are the methods of murder really exactly the same? I'm not so sure about that. I think there's a slight difference between the Genocide Jack cases and this one.
Huh? How's it any different?
Uh-oh, you don't know? Well then, human garbage, let me tell you! I murder with passion and conviction. I consider myself a professional, and I have a very particular way of doing things. Imagine
Scissor.
you go to a fancy Italian restaurant. They're very picky about the noodles, the sauce, everything. But what happened to Chihiro? It'd be like if that same Italian restaurant started using ragu or Chef Boyardee. This is no
Not a
creation
sponsor.
of mine.
Let me rephrase that in a way that maybe makes more sense. There are two clear differences between the Genocide Jack cases and this one. I got it!
Like seriously, we have
For
how
one,
many minutes
the
to
cause
choose
of
one
death
of the
is
two?
different. In the Genocide Jack murders, all the victims were killed the same way. According to the case file, they were all apparently killed with a pair of scissors. But Chihiro died from a blow to the head, right?
Ah, yes. That is remarkably different from the other murders.
Wouldn't it be strange for someone who kills the same way without fail to suddenly change their method? And there's more. One more conflicting detail.
That's right. In my recipe of murder, if the bloody message is the tortellini, then the arrangement of the body would be the pesto sauce.
Could you please stop comparing killing people to cooking?
Getting hungry here.
Are you saying the other difference has to do with how the body was arranged?
What was used?
I got it! Do you remember what the killer used to suspend her? They used some kind of rope to hang her up by her wrists.
You know it's not a
What
rope.
is your point?
Yes.
Well, in all the previous Genocide Jack cases, something
else was
to
used.
suspend them. Specifically,
This is like
here's
the
a
fifth
razor-sharp
time we flash
scissors.
back to this page.
And guess what? I used my own specially designed scissors for the murders and the arrangement.
Honestly,
Like
if you
I
just
said,
pull out a pair
I'm a
right now,
professional, so naturally I'm very
very picky about
That
the tools
actually
I
very
use.
good proof that she didn't do it.
And you know what else? Big Mac said there's 2 differences, but he's wrong.
Big Mac?
Big Mac?
Are you referring to me?
Listen up, Big Mac. There's actually one more difference.
Huh?
Yes, there is.
Word, you really didn't notice? Take a look at who the victims were in each Genocide Jack case. There's a pattern there, just waiting to be discovered.
A pattern?
Figure that out, and it'll be plain as death why I
Oh,
couldn't have
man.
possibly killed that little lolly girl.
Instead of just saying it outright, we have another puzzle to do. Because Chihiro was her lover.
I got it!
We have a minute to
Is
choose
it
which one of these to
because
do.
Chihiro was a girl?
Bingo! Bullseye! Right on the money!
What are you talking about?
In all the Genocide Jack cases, all the victims had something in common.
They were all Japanese.
Yes.
They were all guys?
That's right! The people I kill with such passion and conviction are all adorable little men! I can't believe I said it! I'm so embarrassed!
The hell is wrong with you?
I can't help it! I'm just a full-throttle boy-on-boy fangirl, and the mopey side of me just hates it. But now I'm on the fast track to becoming a full-fledged fan madam!
So, since Chihiro was a girl and not an adorable little man, you wouldn't kill her?
Would an Italian chef suddenly start making ramen just because they're both noodles? Don't be stupid. I have too much passion and conviction to cross that line. That's the absolute reality of the one and only.
We get it. You've clearly explained your hobby and your philosophy. But that's not all there is to it. It's a different matter entirely, when you're forced to kill in order to survive.
Quiet, lowly cur!
Lowly? Cur?
I would never kill for a reason as petty as mere survival. And if by some fluke I did kill to survive, why would I bother with the message and arrangement? It'd make me the obvious suspect!
That does make some amount of sense.
There's an argument to be made there that's like, of course you wouldn't blah 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 do your normal modus operandi, because then it would make you seem like the suspect, so because it hasn't been done, it could still be you. But it's like, why go halfway?
Mm-hmm.
Why go to the effort of, like, suspending the person and putting the message, but not killing them the right way, suspending them the right way, and also killing the right target? So you
Exactly.
go, it's like, why go just enough so everyone thinks it's you, but not far enough that, like, but in, like, actual court of law, there is no, of course I wouldn't do X, that would be too dumb, defense.
Plus, whatever reason I have for killing, I would never leave out my prized scissors. Who would go out of their way to use a big, stupid, heavy dumbbell? Maybe you...
That is another point. I don't think she could lift that dumbbell.
Probably not. Well,
Even as Genocide Jack, I don't think she could really lift the dumbbell.
she can lift people and, arrange them in positions. Like,
Okay.
basically, remember, scissors into concrete through human bodies. I would believe Chihiro couldn't lift it. I would believe Yoko wouldn't be able to lift it.
You mean Toko?
Genocide Jack? That's a different. Did I say Yoko?
Yes. We use the dumbbell because you can't find any scissors?
Any scissors? I don't just use any scissors. I only use my own set of high-class envy of the entire world scissors!
Okay, whatever. There still aren't any in the school.
Are you sure about that? Da 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 da!
She's fully equipped.
That's right! So I can kill anywhere, anytime! Why would I resort to dumbbells or rope when I have my trusty scissors by my side? Go ahead, tell me I'm wrong! You can't, can you, gutter dogs, all of you! Not to mention, I have no clue how to tie a good knot. So rope's totally out of the question anyway!
I have no idea what's going on anymore. Could such a heinous villain really be innocent?
But the body really was suspended, right? And nobody but the police knew about that.
Yeah. That's why we figured it had to be the real deal, and not some copycat killer or whatever.
Da 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 da. I actually have to use the keyboard finally. I know it was already stated. Wait, did I totally?
Here's my answer. Byakuya, it's possible you could have found out, isn't it? You'd have no problem gaining access to classified government documents or internal police records. Plus, you'd already looked through the Genocide Jack file before this all happened, hadn't you?
Are you saying Mr. Togami did it?
Then, the reason he pushed the theory of Genocide Jack being the killer so hard was because he wanted to pin the crime on her.
So, he rearranged the scene to disguise it and make it look like I put my stamp on it! The adorable glasses man was behind it all! Oh, I'm on fire!
Well, Byakuya, what's your response?
I see. So now the suspicion falls on me. Then I must ask, when would you say I began acting suspicious? Surely you must have an answer.
Looking back and thinking about it now, the way you were acting right before we discovered the body was a little strange.
You knew to go immediately into the girls' locker room.
Yeah.
You wanted to go to the girls' locker room right away, right? But since you're a guy...
I should have naturally thought of the boys' locker room first. Is that what you want to say? The victim was Chihiro, a girl. Hence why I said we should check the girls' locker room.
Nothing strange about that, I'd say.
Except we didn't
On
know
the
it was
contrary,
Chihiro.
there's something very strange.
Okay then, what's so strange about it? Go ahead, share with the rest of the class.
Oh my gosh, another puzzle? A new element? You hit a weak spot and hold down the left mouse button. You'll memorize that weak spot. And then you can shoot it.
Okay.
Time to use their own words against them.
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body.
Before we found the body.
But he was acting weird...
Too late.
How?
If you're presented with the opportunity to check out the girls' locker room,
You absolutely take it! That's a natural reaction for any guy!
The victim was Chihiro, who was a girl. So of course I would suggest we check the girls' locker room first. There was no time for pointless distractions. What's so strange about that?
I wish you'd taken me with you.
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body. But he was acting weird... how?
If you're presented with the opportunity to check out the girls' locker room,
You absolutely take it! That's a natural reaction for any guy!
The victim was Chihiro.
No, that's wrong.
Of Chihiro.
I'll tell you what's so strange about that.
Da, da, da.
Because up until we actually discovered the body, we couldn't have known who the victim was. So your claim that you went to the girls' locker room first because Chihiro was the victim doesn't hold up.
I see. That's a good answer, I must admit. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. But your reasoning is still too weak.
Huh?
What's wrong? Is that it? Surely you've got more than that. Go ahead. Show us. What's the matter? You're not finished already, are you? There must be more to it.
There is. I think.
There is more to it. Think about it. We just talked about the differences between this case and past Genocide Jack incidents. The proof you're looking for is hidden in there.
Oh? Proof that I'm the culprit, you mean?
Woohoo! What was Celeste's account again?
What? The difference between the case...
No, Celeste's account was that Chihiro had gone to the warehouse.
Oh,
first.
right, yes.
You want me to explain it again? When I want to kill, I use my very own special scissors. And I use those same scissors to arrange the body.
But Chihiro was suspended with... It was some kind of rope. Was it not?
That's right! It absolutely was!
Then there must be something very fishy indeed about that rope.
Hey, Byakuya, where'd you get it from, huh?
I'd never seen that rope before in my life.
No, that's wrong. Actually, I'm pretty sure you have seen it before. Because, you see, that rope, or should I say, that extension cord?
What? An extension cord?
Byakuya, you've used the extension cord in the library more than once, haven't you? And the same extension cord that was in the library all this time went missing after the murder.
Everything else is like
And
so
there's no way
decently
someone who
rendered,
uses that extension cord
but the
as
cable
much
is
as you
like,
do
no.
wouldn't discover that fact.
Then Byakuya must be the one who took the extension cord. I can't imagine any other possibility.
That's really what you think? Then your conclusion is something like this? I killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, then hung her up and wrote that bloody message. I intentionally made it look like Genocide Jack was behind it. Is that about right? What's wrong? I asked you if you think that's what happened.
Yeah, it's about half
Hell
right.
yes, that's what happened. So that's it, right? Byakuya's the killer.
I don't disagree with not disagreeing.
He kept calling this a game, right? So he'd be totally willing to do something like this to win.
Sorry, but could we hold on just a second? I think we need to talk about this a little more.
Huh? Do we really need to? We've already decided who did it.
I know, but still, there's something that's still bothering me.
Is that right? And what, pray tell, is still bothering you? I killed her in the girls' locker room, then disguised my crime. Specifically, I dressed it up to make it look like it was the work of a homicidal psychopath. What about all that bothers you?
I got it! You say you killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, right? But are you sure about that? Isn't it possible that the murder took place somewhere else?
Oh my
How
god!
disappointing. What kind of question is that? Even in the world of disappointments, this is a true letdown. She was found dead in the girls' locker room. There is absolutely no question about that. How could the scene of the crime have been anywhere else?
Well, I think it's entirely possible that she was killed somewhere else, then carried there later, along with the rest of the murder scene.
The rest of the murder scene? That was awfully specific. Please tell me you have a reason for saying all of that.
I believe I do.
Hey, don't just move on without permission! What do you mean she was killed somewhere else?
Come on, Makoto. If there's any chance the murder took place somewhere else, let's see the proof.
Alrighty then. Posters.
Yep.
I got it! The proof that she was killed somewhere else is the poster that's hanging in each locker room.
Your proof is some posters?
The poster in the girls' locker room was a picture of a big boobed supermodel. But don't you think that's kind of strange? Why would the girls' locker room have a poster like that?
I bet those massive jugs of hers were totally fake!
Meanwhile, the boys' locker room had a poster of the super popular boy band Tornado. Again, that doesn't really seem to belong in a boys' locker room.
So you're saying that maybe the posters were switched?
And there's one other thing I noticed about the locker rooms. You know what I'm talking about, right, Sakura?
You're referring to my protein coffee, aren't you?
Protein coffee?
While I was in the girls' locker room earlier, I spilled some protein coffee on the carpet.
Earlier, a few days ago.
But I noticed that after the murder, the stain had been totally scrubbed away.
I got it! The stain on the girls' locker room carpet wasn't scrubbed away. In fact, I found it on the boys' locker room carpet.
That's definitely the stain from my protein coffee.
Did he take pictures?
Then, Does that mean that the
Must
carpets were
have.
switched too? But why would anyone do that?
To move the murder scene from one locker room to the other. It's certainly plausible, don't you think?
What?
In other words, in order to completely swap the scene of the crime, the blood-stained poster and carpet were moved along with the dead body. By doing this, the killer was able to change the entire room where the murder took place.
I can certainly follow your reasoning, but why would the culprit bother doing that?
Huh?
Why would they go to all that trouble of switching the scene of the crime? Actually, an even bigger question. If the murder did take place in the boys' locker room, then how did Chihiro get in the boys' locker room in the first place?
Dun dun dun!
To get into the locker rooms, you have to swipe your e-handbook across the card reader device.
See,
But
she sounds like a
Chihiro's
robot.
handbook should have only allowed her access to the girls' locker room.
I agree.
She had
The
no way
Japanese
to
voice
get into
acting
the
is
boys'
not
locker room to begin with.
No, she did have a way, and I can tell you what it was.
I highly doubt that.
Shut up! I'm telling you, I know how she could have done it.
Okay, we'll see what it is.
What's funny is we know that we can probably guess that what he's going to say is something to do with the
E-handbook?
broken e-handbook. But
Is it really possible? Could Chihiro really have gotten into the boys' locker room somehow?
Ah! I've got it! She must have hacked her e-handbook! She was the ultimate programmer, after all. I'm sure that would have been no problem for her.
No, I don't think that's it. She used the thing that was in the main hall.
Huh? What thing?
I'm talking about Leon's handbook, of course. If she had that,
Leon's handbook.
she could get into the boys' locker room no problem.
But Leon's is...
Leon's is the one that won't turn on.
supposedly.
Is it really possible?
I don't know what the speed
Could
up button is
Chihiro
for
really have
this.
gotten into the boys' locker room
there's
somehow?
I know that there is supposed to be a speed up button, I just don't know what it is.
She must have hacked her e-handbook. She was the ultimate programmer, after all. I'm sure that would have been no problem for her.
No, I don't think that's it. She used the thing that was in the main hall.
Huh? What thing?
I'm talking about Leon's handbook.
Leon's handbook.
No, I don't think Chihiro used Leon's handbook.
Why not?
Because Leon's handbook was broken.
Oh. Well, then, yeah, I guess that'd be pretty impossible, huh?
I am struck silent by how quickly you gave up.
Plus, isn't there a regulation against using someone else's handbook?
Actually, the rule states that loaning your handbook is prohibited. It says nothing about borrowing one. In other
Or
words,
using one of
you
the-
could borrow a dead person's handbook all you want, and you'd be safe.
Yup, yup, yup! Hit the nail square on the noggin!
Of course, if it were broken, that wouldn't make any sense anyway.
Right, according to Monokuma, Leon's
So
handbook is
then,
not broken.
she must have hacked hers, like I said. She used her ultimate programmer skills and...
Psst! You can't fix an e-handbook! The instant you open one up, a security buzzer starts blaring!
So, if she didn't use Leon's handbook, and she didn't modify her own handbook...
Maybe Mr. Naegi's initial assumption is just... wrong?
It seems like there's no way she could have got into the boys' locker room. So I guess so.
Okay then, I vote for Byakuya.
Hold on a second.
Da 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 da.
I agree with you, though. I think you're on the right track.
What the? You finally decide to open your mouth and that's what you've got to say? There's no way she could get in the boys' locker room, right? So...
Why are you so sure she couldn't get in? There's still one other way she could have gained access.
What?
What are you talking about? What other way is there?
Well, to explain that, why don't we take a little break from the trial? I'd like you all to come see something.
Wait. Just what do you think you're doing?
Don't worry. This'll make the whole trial more exciting. I'm sure that thought must please you.
Huh? It'll make things more exciting? Well, all right then. I declare an official class trial recess.
Huh? For real?
Now then, what is it you want to show us? It better not be boring or I'll be very unhappy.
Oh, I have no doubt it'll meet your lofty expectations. So, shall we go?
Sure, let's go.
Let's go back to the locker room.
The girls' locker room?
We've already searched this place top...
I'd like you to examine the victim's body one more time. Be sure to examine the entire body very carefully. Take your time.
Examine her carefully? Like using our hands? No way!
It's probably best if I don't run my hands all over a girl's dead body.
It's not that I'm creeped out or anything, it's just... based on religious grounds, you know?
Uh-huh.
Very well. I'll do it.
But you're a girl. You shouldn't have to touch a dead body. Just let one of the boys do it.
No, it's okay. I think Chihiro would rather have a girl examine her. So just leave this to me.
Sakura. What is this? Some kind of secret girl-on-girl action? Is that what you two are about? That's not it at all. Stop screwing around.
Okay, here I go.
Here we go.
I'm sorry, Chihiro. Please excuse the intrusion.
Be sure to check her entire body. And
Her entire body? What? This is... What is this?
What is it?
Not possible. It's not possible. This girl is
what?
Is a boy.
I touched a
I
penis.
see. So she was actually a he. Interesting. Thank you for confirming this fact.
What?
You're joking, right?
I wouldn't joke about this.
Then it's really true?
Chihiro was... a guy?
Oh, what? You guys didn't know? Heck, I knew that right off the bat. Chihiro Fujisaki was totally a guy.
I mean, to be fair, that was...
Dresser? Oh, no, I'm really on fire! I wish I had killed him!
So that's what Kyoko wanted to show everyone, huh? Interesting. Yes, that certainly does make things much more exciting. Now let's ride this wave of excitement back to the courtroom and get back to the
I
trial.
feel like that there are different ways that information could have been handled, and rather than having somebody examine a dead body.
Apologize for keeping you waiting.
Like, they could have had someone take Chihiro's, like, handbook and, like, you know, scan it or, you know, turn it on and, like, check it that way.
Well,
Or
here's the
go into
thing.
Chihiro's room and see the blue sheets and the toolbox.
That part would work. I will say regarding the handbook Chihiro has, I have a distinct feeling Chihiro doesn't have his own. I have a feeling the quote-unquote broken one is Chihiro's.
You think so?
I mean, Monokuma did say there was this one specific way to
revelation that
deactivate it.
Chihiro.
Oh, wait,
He
you
didn't
don't...
specify what it was.
Oh, I know what the thing is. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know the one way to break it.
Does that seem something like Chihiro
Yes,
would be capable of?
I don't know his reason for
Oh,
hiding
no,
it,
Chihiro
but
didn't
the
break it.
fact is, Chihiro was not a girl, but a boy.
I'll say that much. Chihiro did not break his own handbook.
Okay.
And because the victim was male, he would have had no problem gaining access to the boys' locker room.
Assuming his handbook did, in fact, list his gender as male, then yes, that would be true.
Of course his handbook said he was a boy. He dressed like a girl, but he was a boy through and through.
So then, there should be no issue with Makoto's initial assertion. The victim was killed in the boys' locker room, and was then later moved to the girls' locker room. And the killer could have easily used Sayaka or Junko's handbook to get into the girls' locker room.
So Chihiro really was killed in the boys' locker room?
I still don't understand the motive for moving the body, but yes, that does seem plausible.
Well, I must admit, I did find it rather odd. I knew he felt a little off. There was a certain incongruity to his female body.
This is the most titillating situation!
So now everything has been connected. All the mysteries have finally become clear.
Okay, well, connected
Sorry,
or clear
who?
or
What?
whatever.
Sorry, who are the
We
mysteries?
still think you're the killer, remember?
Very interesting. This has become very interesting indeed.
Ah, he's off in his own little world.
What about you, Makoto? After everything we've learned, do you still think Byakuya's the killer?
Well, without a doubt, Byakuya is the one that made Chihiro's death look like Genocide Jack did it. But I think he might not actually be the killer after all.
What? But aren't you the one who accused him in the first place?
He just seems to be too easygoing about all this. Like he's enjoying us solving the mystery. The way he's acting, it makes it seem like it doesn't have anything to do with him.
Plus, it's a who one?
Plus, there's the fact he seemed to be completely nonchalant until the thought that the crime scene was different. Like, you thought about it yourself, Makoto. Say that part. The fact that the only thing that seemed to surprise him was the thought that the crime scene was different.
Yes, the crime scene had gone changed, yes.
And you think that might be because it doesn't have anything to do with him?
Plus, the evidence he left behind was a little too... how can I put it? Overt. He consciously chose to use the extension cord, knowing it could connect him to the murder. At least, that's how I see it. And Byakuya, when you found out the murder took place in the boys' locker room,
Okay, good.
it seemed to rattle you. And then again, when you found out Chihiro was actually a guy. If you really were the killer, that stuff wouldn't have had any effect on you.
So that's your thinking, huh? Well, it bothers me that you don't have more concrete reasons, but it's fine. I guess I'll mark it as correct for the time being.
Mark it as correct?
He's right. I am not the culprit. I just happened to come across the corpse in the girls' locker room and decided to alter it.
Are you fucking with us right now?
No, I am not effing with you right now. I'm telling you the truth.
It's you!
Well,